Hi, I'm Michael. This is an experiment once again in the world of video. I'm trying to act a bit more relaxed than I have done in the past on these videos as I get more used to it and I get more used to the medium. What I want to talk about today is around traditional publishing and self-publishing. I want to understand the age-old conflict between them both, and which one should you choose if you're a new writer. For me, obviously, it's a no-brainer. I don't understand anymore why, as a new writer, you would go through the whole hassle of trying to get a traditional publishing contract. I just don't understand it. There's so much evidence nowadays that's stacked up against going for a traditional publisher, and I really urge anyone who's watching this to go and read the stuff. With the blog that's attached to this video, there's a few links which are a great start at least. Follow those links and read up on the information before you make the decision. My understanding of the whole decision of whether to go traditional or self-publishing is usually seems to be based on an emotional decision when you go for the traditional publishing route. I understand in a kind of a fluxed industry, as publishing industry is at the moment, you want to go for the secure way, the consistent way, the way that you've been used to. And obviously traditional publishers have that. They have the name, they have the kudos, the status, which as a writer, especially as a new writer, you crave. You crave the validation, you crave someone who's proper to pat you on the head and say, well done, yes, your book is good enough for us. You want that gatekeeper approval. However, that approval does come at a cost. Most writers these days with traditional publishing contracts, there was a recent survey that had 90% of authors with traditional publishing contracts weren't happy with the money they earned from the publisher. Now, obviously that's a loaded question maybe anyway, but I think it is pretty obvious that the money that's being earned now from authors from those traditional publishing contracts is nowhere near what it used to be. The advances are minimised completely. I think, a few grand advance is possibly the most you can hope for as a new writer, and you have to work out, well, okay, that's probably not a full-time job then. Making a living as a writer with a traditional publishing contract is exceptionally hard, and only the real outliers with the phenomenal success can ever achieve such a thing. If you were making the decision as a business case, if you were just looking at the facts and figures, it really would be a no-brainer. Indie publishing has taken off. The most books sold in Amazon, come the May 2015 figures that have just been released by AuthorEarnings.com, have said that 40% of all books sold on Amazon were indie published. So, add those numbers up. It's obviously, being an indie published author does not mean that you are disadvantaged in any means whatsoever with book sales. Amazon sell by far and away the most amount of books from any other distribution outlet in the world. If you're a success in Amazon, then you're doing okay as a writer. So I've attached some links, and I hope that you can read through those. I really do urge you to, if you're a new writer, or indeed even if you're a writer from a traditional publishing background, but are completely disillusioned with the way that the industry's moved now. Traditional publishers, for example, just look at the dollar spend that they spend on promotion and marketing these days, and the authors that they're backing up. It's basically the best-selling authors that they already know, the safe bets, and the celebrities that bring out cookbooks or biographies or even their attempts at fiction, which again is a safe bet because they already have their own platforms, and that is what a traditional publisher looks at. Now, if you're going to spend all that time building a platform, why on earth would you need a publisher to then sell it for you? Just publish it yourself. Sell it in exactly the same places that any traditional publisher can sell a book, and use your platform to sell more copies. Even if you signed a traditional publishing contract, they would still expect you to build that platform on your own, and instead of giving them a cut after you've done all that work, you take more royalties. You can take 70% royalties from publishing on your own on Amazon. 70% royalties. If you're with a traditional publisher and you got 10% royalties, you'd be punching the air. It's an absolute no-brainer. The decision is not even a decision anymore, and I really want you to, if anything else, to reconsider your ego and just look at the facts and figures. And once you've made that decision within your own head, then it's about how do you do that. And that's where there's a number of different ways to become an indie publisher, and that's the great thing about it. You don't have to become a tech wizard to do it. You can outsource parts of it, you can outsource the whole thing if you want, but you still maintain creative control, which is incredibly important. And the more that you can, the less royalty that you give away, and the less of the intellectual property that you give away of your book, the better. There are sharks out there, as there is in everything. But the whole point of this blog and the whole point of these newsletters is for me, who is a writer, I've written fiction and non-fiction, the whole point of this is really for me to help you to find your way through those waters and do as much as possible for yourself so that you give as little away. The idea of making money on a book is crazy. You have to write lots of books. There are a number of business models that you can deploy as a writer, but pretty much, unless you're E.L. James, the chances of writing one book and making a living off of it is exceptionally rare. So don't even think about it in that way. The whole point is to write more books and get better at it and get more efficient at it and keep publishing and publishing, and the more you can do on your own, the better. That's the new model for being a writer, and that is what you have to be realistic about. The costs that some people give, the amount that some people give away in order for cover design, in order for editing services, which I recommend, by the way. I don't believe that being a self-publisher means that you have to do everything on your own. I think those two are the big ones that are the key services that you need to outsource to professionals. But the amounts of money that some people pay for those services, and then you look at, well, how many books are you going to have to sell to kind of recoup that? And the maths don't work out. Like any career, you have to be realistic about your outcomes. You have to be realistic about your goals, what you want to achieve, and how you best are going to achieve it. That's what this blog's for. That's what these videos are going to be for. This is a high-level overview of what I'm going to be talking about, but I just wanted to explain which side of the fence I'm very clearly on, and my job is really to help you to find your own way through that and be with you along the way, really. I'm open to any questions. If anyone else has anything they want to ask me, then fill your boots. I'm here. I'll answer. I'm coming from a genuine place of just being another writer who's had 3 or 4 years of a head start on publishing for themselves. I've done it. I've learned from mistakes. I'm still making mistakes. You'll hear about all of them here. But if you have anything to ask, please let me know. Okay? Until next time, thank you.